What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, I wanted to do a video yesterday, but I had a little Traily Bailey issues, so I had to basically replace a starter in the middle of the. Well, it was daytime when I started, and then it turned into nighttime. It's not fun doing motor vehicle work in the nighttime. It's very, very not fun. Anyway, so okay. So Nintendo had an easy pass to win this next generation coming out. But they seem to have fumbled on a couple of different ways. I mean, one, the price and the pricing of their games, whatever, right? That's one. But the next one really is the screen. Now, Digital Foundry went in and they were talking about the screen. Now, I have my issues with Digital Foundry. I'll get to that. But they were saying the screen has such a low refresh rate that it's causing ghosting. There's like 4 different iterations of ghosting. Basically, press pause, and Alex went through it too. He's like he went through these Nintendrones talking about I don't see nothing, and he took their actual videos that they were talking about they don't see nothing and paused it, and you saw it. You saw the steps. I was like, yo, man, come on, son. Y'all just make it too easy for him. Y'all got to make it challenging for your boy because he's on it. But anyway, yeah, Digital Foundry's like, oh yeah, it's a great improvement, but the screen sucks. And I'm like, that's something that you can't patch out. That's a physical limitation of the actual hardware. So anybody who is on the fence of buying a Switch, don't buy a Switch 2. Wait until they put the OLED on there. Better screen. It'll cost more, but it'll be better, and you won't go blind trying to play games on it. The other thing I have a problem with Digital Foundry is that Digital Foundry, I would say, is they're second as far as the tech nerd wizards of the internet. They're number 2. Number 1 is Gamer Nexus. They are number 1. Steve over there, Jesus Steve, he's the man. He goes in deep. He knows a way more. Because he goes over to China and be like, yeah, this is how they manufacture the stuff. And he's doing tours, and I'm like, that's what's up. I don't understand half the stuff you're talking about, but it's good to have a very smart person who is impartial. He's not impartial. I mean, he is impartial. I said both. Anyway, I'm tired. Digital Foundry, getting back to those clowns. So they were talking about the Xbox, how Lisa Sue came out and said boo boo boo, and Sarah Bond came out like you know what I'm saying? They told the things. They said the words, right? Next gen, AMD, partnership, And these fools, I don't know if they're pretending or they really are dumb, because they're sitting there like, I don't understand why they do. I don't understand. The purpose of you, Digital Foundry, is to be the smart people in the whole community, so that when smart things occur, as far as technology goes, you can explain it. You can say, oh, this is why they do it. Instead, it's the Fudcast over there. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. They're like, I don't know I don't know. And they're like, hey, Microsoft, hey, giggling. I'm like, look, I mean, your Sony bias is showing. Obviously, they're connected to PlayStation through the media, through all of the acquisitions that PlayStation has done. In a roundabout way, they are. But they're not, but they are. But what we need from you is intelligent, informed information. Not, I don't know. I can get that from Porter Rock. I get that from J-Dub. I get that from Tim Dog. But he claims to be an expert, but that's a whole nother. What we want is the smart people to say smart things, not to act stupid and not to know, If you're intelligent, which you guys are, you should be giving us examples. Give us some theories. Say, well, you know, I mean, based off the technology that they're presenting and what they're saying, blah, 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 this could be really good for the industry. They're not doing that. They're not saying nothing like that. They're like, I don't know, why are they doing this? Why is Microsoft doing this? It doesn't make sense. I just don't understand. I feel like smacking off however many of them. Let's see, Oliver, Richard, John, just them four. How about them four? Because it's like, how are they so intelligent but then so stupid? I mean, it doesn't make sense because they have to have ideas. They have to have theories about, hey, this is what's happening. You see what's happening? Like, it's almost like they have a script and they're not allowed to go off the script or something, right? So it's like, me, I don't have a script. I say whatever I want because nobody's paying me to say stuff. Nobody's, you know, whatever. So I'm free. This is why it's good to be a small YouTuber because you be like, bloop, I can say whatever I want. Now I have to worry about stuff. I mean, you can't say hey, but you know, you have the freedom. You don't want to. I don't want to upset Sony, so I'm gonna be tippy-toeing around the subject of PlayStation, PS Pisser, and all that stuff. No, I'm not gonna say that anymore. You notice why? You notice they don't say Pisser anymore, right? They say PSSR. Because at first they were saying pisser and they were laughing at it. And then somebody at Sony said, yo. Oh, they say, yo. Richard, Dick, if you will. How you going to just go up on your show and say pisser 100 and giggle and stuff? Don't you know we pay your bills? Oh, I'm sorry. I did not know. I wasn't aware. But yeah. So, Digital Foundry is it was it a half an hour? I don't know how long it was. It was a big chunk of time of useless words that meant nothing, that had no substance. I mean, my videos have no substance, but them, they supposed to have information, inform the public, inform us. So now I'm gonna just have to go back to Jesus Steve to Gamers Nexus and just sit there and listen to graphics card. He doesn't do video. He doesn't do console stuff, but he does graphics cards. And if you guys are not paying attention, the graphics card, the PC, APUs, all this stuff is very important now because Microsoft is doing what they're doing. I mean, it's always has been important, but not so much because the last two generations have been just, you know, Sony chose this APU, Microsoft chose that APU. You know, it was just something they were making anyway, and they said, we take those, and they slap them in the console, the boo 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 boo. They're like, oh, a custom made something for the Xbox, custom made for the. I mean, now it's custom because they're actually sitting down and doing it. But before, I mean, I guess it is a little custom. So I'll take that back. But I wanted to go back to something I talked about in a previous video where I put a tweet out that said Xbox, the OG Xbox was a PC. They literally took PC parts off of the shelf and created the OG Xbox. If you don't know, go look it up. And I'm like, that's another thing I have an issue with Digital Foundry. They're like, oh, these new console, Xbox consoles are going to be more Windows centric and blah, 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 or Windows based or Windows 11 and blah, blah. I'm like, and they admit themselves that Xbox has always been Windows. Nobody says this. I haven't heard anybody say this. Xbox has always been Windows. It's always a Windows kernel. The original Xbox, if you look at the documentary, they're like, oh yeah, we went there and we took all the stuff we didn't need out of Windows and we just did bloop and we put it in. I believe it's, I don't know exactly which Windows the original Xbox is, but I know the 360 was Windows 8, and then Xbox One, and I think the X and S are the series are Windows 10. But I'm like, they're based off of the Windows kernel. They just take all the stuff out that they don't need, and it's still Windows. That's the foundation of what the Xbox UI and dashboard and the OS is Windows. It always has been Windows. So all this rhetoric about, oh, it's gonna be Windows, oh, it's PC, it's always been that. Y'all are just stupid. Y'all didn't know that. I knew that. I mean, I knew the Dreamcast was Windows because it says it literally on the front of the console, Windows CE Microsoft. It says it right on the console. So they've always been PCs. They've always been PCs, and these dudes is just like acting like, oh, it's Windows. It's gonna be different. It's a PC. That's not an Xbox. It's like you're not a gamer. You're not a smart person because it's always been PC. Now that they're saying, now that the rumors are, it's gonna. They're mad. This is what it is. They're mad because Xboxes will be able to play PlayStation 5 games without PlayStation having any say so. See, this is why I say 69D chess is happening and PlayStation playing tic-tac-toe with crayons, because Microsoft is finding every single, like, Sony's doing their thing. They're trying to do this, trying to block this game. Money had this game, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Microsoft said, oh, you trying to get exclusivity for Starfield? Okay. That's what's up. All right, we'll be back. Boom. We bought it. We own the bank. We own the hotel now. You know what I'm saying? So they found every single instance where Sony tried to get over. Microsoft said, pull out that fat knot of money and said, we bought it. And so now they didn't buy anything. Well, they had to use the money, of course, to do what they're doing. But their move to do hybrid or whatever this is, a more open platform. Let's put it this way: a more open platform. Let's not call it hybrid and all these other words that the internet has spit out. It is a it's a more open platform, and much like PC, but it won't be a PC. You won't be able to do Word, Excel, Blender on your Xbox. No. I mean, unless you load up an OS like Windows 12 or whatever it be out then. If you do that, then you might be able to, sure. Because there was a video I came across yesterday. I didn't watch the video, but I saw the beginning, you know. And somebody put Windows, I think it was 98 on a PlayStation 2. I was like, okay, that's sure. But it's possible because they're PCs. If it wasn't a PC, you wouldn't be able to do that. It's like, can you put Windows something on Genesis? Probably, I don't even know what was out at that point. Was there Windows even out in 89, 90? When did Genesis stop? Like 94, 95, something? Anyway. So the whole argument about it's not an Xbox and all that stuff is out the window. It is an Xbox. Okay? And it's always been Windows. And the fact that they're making this more open platform scares them, because now Xbox doesn't have to beg or get permission from PlayStation to get their games. They just say, Steam, go get it. If the next Xbox has Steam integrated or whatever, I can play my Steam library, I might get Spider-Man. See, this is causing more sales for Sony. I mean, y'all ponies and donkey unicorns may not like it, but Sony's like, oh shoot, more people gonna buy our games. That's the whole point. And so I don't have to buy a PlayStation 5 or 6 or whatever. I don't know. No PlayStation 6. We gonna run it up, blah, blah, blah. You know how I do. But Phil Aurelius Maximus Genesis Spencer, first of his name, last of his kind. He's been doing some crazy chess moves. And like I said, first they bought the bank. First they bought the hotel, right? They bought the studios. They bought the publishers that they were trying to snatch away, right? Now, they say, you know what? I mean, if they could, they would buy Steam and then it would be over, right? But they say, no, we can't buy Steam because that's like too antitrust or whatever, you know. FTC wouldn't allow it. It's too big of an acquisition or whatever, right? So they did the next best thing. They made Steam come to them. And Gabe has zero problem with that because that makes Steam, I mean, Steam is already huge, right? For PC, but then it opens up the console market for Steam. And that's more millions and millions, tens, 20s of millions of more people on Steam. I mean, they don't need it. They have, but it's still more and more. You want growth, right? So Gabe's like, yeah, okay, sure. Okay, cheap. I mean, basically a PC, so it's all good. Okay. Yo, I would have never thought. I mean, when you think, like, I'm an idiot, right? And I'm thinking about this. And I'm like, yeah, that's why. And then the idiots at Digital Foundry, like, I don't know why. Why? Oi, why are they doing this? We don't understand why they're doing this. And it was like, well, money. I mean, they did say that. It's about money. That's why their games are everywhere. But then they're confused about the hardware coming out. It's like, why are you confused? It's like, oh, it doesn't play Xbox games. I'm like, is Forza Horizon 5 on Xbox? Yeah. Is it on PC? Yeah. What's the difference? One is made to run on PC, one is made to run on Xbox. The PC version, superior. Why would you be complaining about having to not be able to play the inferior version of the game when you have the superior version right in front of you? It doesn't make sense. Is it the game? Can you play the game on that box? Whatever it's called, wherever, then it's an Xbox game, right? Then you can then play it. That's like complaining having an Atari 7800. They'd be like, I can't. Well, that's okay. That's a bad example because you can't play the 2600 games on the 7800. But it doesn't make any sense. And they're making these distinctions because they have nothing else to console war about, because they're losing right in front of their faces. The number one spot is fluttering away from them, and they can't stop it. And like I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, they have this Xbox that can do PC stuff, but it's still an Xbox, but it's just fly like that. It's like, I can do PC too. I can do Steam, GOG, let's go. Epic Game, let's go. If it could do that, why? First of all, it's smart because all of the console dudes who don't want to go and buy a PC because they're scared about drivers and all this stuff, that's who it's for. It's like, yo, here's a console that can do the things the PC can do, but it's a console. It feels like a console, works like a console, but you go click, click, boom, boom, Steam opens up, your games are there. Just like a console. Except it's a console, but it's like a PC, but it's like a console. It's perfect for dudes like Boom, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Boomstick XL, you know what I'm saying? Perfect for people like him because he doesn't want to dilly-dally in PC stuff. And that's cool. You know, it's not for everybody. I prefer to play on console because it's just easy, and but if I have to, I play on PC. It's no big deal. I suck at keyboard and mouse, but that's an acquired type of thing. The more you do it, it's not that hard. I just suck at it. But it's like they're creating options for players that would otherwise just stick with console and have to be constrained in that like walled garden. They're making gaming more open for console players who wouldn't otherwise venture into Steam, venture into Epic, venture into GOG. And everybody's confused. How? I don't understand. It's easy to understand if you actually use your brain cells and are not kind of colored by the blue, if you know what I'm saying. But it's just it's kind of frustrating and stuff when it comes to those guys, because they may be impartial. I don't think they are, but it's just like, yo, you are one of the smarter outlets out there that are spitting science and spitting the facts for the most part, but your opinions and how you discuss things are coloring your content. And now I look at it and I'm like, I kind of know, they don't like Xbox for some reason, or they're following the narrative that has been presented instead of looking at each company as they are. Although they did go in on Nintendo, so I'll give them that. But still, they gave them praise for everything else, which is okay, sure. But if your screen sucks, I mean, dude, they said that the screen on the Nintendo Switch 2 is on average 17 milliseconds latency. I'm like, huh? 17? They said the highest was like 26. I'm like, huh? How is it so? Remember when TVs had that stat? It was like to give you the milliseconds, like 3 milliseconds response time. It's like, oh, that's good. That's really good. And that's for us gamers, because when we play, the less latency, milliseconds response time, the better the game is. You don't have lag and stuff. I mean, for the image, You know, it's lagging other things, but you know, if your freaking screen that you put in your system has 17 average of 17, I'm like, how? It's so sad. I mean, I would say like the bottom of the barrel is like 8, 11 maybe. I mean, that's bad too, but anyway, rambling, tangent. Appreciate you showing your hand on the man, like and subscribe. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know what you think about Xbox doing their thug thizzle, digital Foundry being knuckleheads, and all the other stuff I talked about that just fluttered out of my brain right now. But I appreciate. I'll talk to you on the next one too. Wait.